Do we finally have actual footage of voter fraud? We might. It's still under investigation, but it may be all caught on tape. So, Georgia video footage shows poll workers staying behind producing boxes of ballots. Hmm, interesting. Let's see where this story takes us. But before we do, if you like my videos and you want to subscribe, just hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you get notified when I post a new video. Because I'm a small channel, it is extremely important that you get notifications. Alrighty, let's dive right in. So, President Trump's legal team on December 3rd presented surveillance footage at a Georgia state legislature hearing that appears to show ballot counting workers telling poll observers late at night on election day to leave before continuing to count and pulling out what appears to be boxes filled with ballots. Hmm, interesting. Let's just scroll down to the pictures real quick because, yeah, okay, so this table was placed there and it was there all day and there were these boxes. Now, this looks like a suitcase, not even a box. Like this looks like a tote, kind of like what they were using around the other areas of the ballot counting. But this looks like a suitcase, and this also looks like a suitcase. Why are there suitcases with ballots underneath the table? Hmm, interesting. All right, so let's go back up here. So it says, uh, in the hearing, Jackie Pick, a lawyer who is volunteering with the campaign's legal case, said the team received video footage from State Farm Arena's vote tabulation center in Fulton County, Georgia. The team said that GOP poll watchers weren't allowed to watch the counting process in the poll center. Yeah, they were kept far away in like a little roped off area, and they were told you can watch from 30 feet away. Yet because anybody can see what's going on from 30 feet away, okay? No, you can't. That's extremely far, and even if you're standing 6 feet away, it's kind of hard to see small print on a piece of paper, you know. But 30 feet, no, there's no way you're gonna see it. So already we have a problem. But if that wasn't a problem enough, according to Pick, an unusual occurrence took place later in the evening at around 10 p.m. Local time. A woman, described as a blonde woman with braids, told workers to stop counting and notified everyone to go home. So on election night, uh, everybody just stopped counting across the board. Um, they were told stop counting. We're gonna hold off till tomorrow because we have so many ballots. And then at like 1 in the morning or whatever, numbers started coming in because they continued counting after they had told everybody to go home. And it wasn't just in Georgia that this happened, but this one is the only one that we currently have video footage of, I believe. So that's why we're talking about it. Uh, Describing the video footage, everyone clears out, including the Republican observers and the press, but four people stay behind and continue counting and tabulating well into the night. So the four counted unobserved until about 1 a.m. So from 10 to 1, I should say 10:30 because it probably took a little bit of time for people to clear out. So like 10:30-ish approximately to 1, these people pull these suitcases out full of ballots that we don't know where they came from and start counting them. That doesn't seem odd. There's no observers. They're doing it in the middle of the night after press and the observers have gone home, and they pull these ballots out of nowhere. Now, could there maybe possibly be some sort of explanation? Like, maybe. But people are saying that I've seen other reports that are saying, "Oh, well, um there's no voter fraud. They stored them underneath there and then they were going to count them later." And I'm like, "Okay, well, if that's the case, why did you store them completely out of sight the entire day and then pull them out after everybody went home?" It's not like you guys pulled these out when there were still people there. No, you waited and then They left, and then you pulled them out, and then you started counting. Okay. Uh, so it says right here, it shows the election workers waiting at their scanning areas until GOP poll observers and reporters left the room before they started scanning the ballots, pretty much without any observation, right? So, Pick said that at 11 p.m., once everyone was gone, workers are seen pulling out the suitcase-looking containers and asked rhetorically whether it's normal to store suitcases of ballots under a tablecloth. Oh, okay. So it wasn't like 10:30; it was 11:30. So they waited a whole hour after, to go ahead and start counting, right? So that's what, 2 hours of them counting ballots with no observation or supervision whatsoever. That's a lot of time for a lot of ballots to be counted that probably shouldn't be counted, right? Uh, Georgia elections officials have since said that those were not suitcases but container boxes that are used to store ballots. I'm sorry. No. No, 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 no. Okay, this one maybe looks like a storage tote. This and this look like suitcases. Those do not look those do not look like what everyone else was using the entirety of these videos because they were using the big plastic totes, right? These look like suitcases. I'm sorry, but you can't say uh that they're not suitcases when they clearly look like suitcase. I mean, Jesus Christ, this dude is pulling it like a suitcase. Like it looks like it's rolling on two wheels. Okay, these totes, normally you pick them up by two hands and carry them to wherever you're going. They normally don't have wheels. This thing looks like it has wheels and he's pulling it by a carry handle. Okay? That I don't know about you, but that clearly looks like a suitcase. So, Georgia officials, you guys need to get your eyes checked. Okay? Uh, let's see. Uh, the head of Georgia's voting system implementation manager told a fact-checking website that, quote, if you look at the videotape, the work you see is the work you would expect, which is you take the sealed suitcase looking things in, you place the ballots on the scanner in manageable batches, and you scan them. Okay, what? Okay, hold on. You guys just contradicted yourself right there. You said they were not suitcases, but container boxes, and then this person is quoted saying that they're suitcases. So which are they? Are they totes? Are they the official container boxes? Or are they suitcases? Because they can't be both, right? And then this is the work you would expect. Oh, you mean 2 hours where nobody from the press is there, none of the opposition's uh ballot watch or poll watchers are there, and after you guys all said that you guys were done counting for the night, and then that's the work we would expect. That's normal procedure. I don't think so. Okay. Wow. That was a man, that was an interesting quote, man. Okay. Uh Francis Watson, the chief investigator for the Georgia Secretary of State, also disputed some of Pick's claims. Quote, there wasn't a bin that had ballots in it under that table. It was an empty bin, and the ballots from it were actually put out on the table when the media was still there. And then it was placed back into the box when the media were still there and placed next to the table. It's unclear what she is referring to, as the video shows the containers being pulled from under the table. Yeah, if you go and you watch this video, which if you go to the Epic Times, you can watch the full 12-minute video. Um, I didn't see them. I saw them pull these totes out and these suitcases out, and then walk away with them, and then these people take the ballots out and count them. So I don't know how you can say that they were empty. Um, when clearly they weren't. Anybody who watches the video would see that they weren't. Uh, Neither of these officials explained to the website why the suitcase-looking boxes for ballots were kept under a table and were then taken out after the workers were told to go home on election night after 10 p.m. They also did not say where the suitcases came from or place them under the table. So, if you guys want us to believe uh, that all of this is fine, you have to explain something to us. You have to explain where they came from, why they were there. You can't just give these generic statements of no, that's not what it was, without giving an alternate explanation as to what happened. Because right now we have the video evidence, and it's looking really, really bad. Okay, you need to explain it. Okay, uh, Watson said the area was still open to the public and that nobody told poll observers to stay or leave. But her claim and similar ones, however, have been disputed by Georgia GOP Chair David Schaefer, who on Thursday wrote that the assertion that an observer was present during the process are untrue as the video shows. Our position is unchanged. Ballots were counted unlawfully and in secret. I have to agree. I'm sorry, but you can't say nobody said uh, to leave when the video clearly shows somebody going around talking to people, and thus shortly after, all those people clear out. And on election night, I remember it was announced that nobody was going to count anything. So, how exactly do you expect anybody to believe that? Uh, Even had state monitors been present, the law still requires that ballot counting be open to partisan monitors and the public. But state monitors were not present, and um, uh, at Georgia Secretary of State now acknowledges, and the video shows. Well, yeah, clearly, right? Uh, you send people home. Video comes out later showing you doing that and showing you pulling out suitcases of ballots, and you're like, oh yeah, no, nobody told them to leave. What are you talking about? We didn't. Nobody told them to leave. They could have stayed. They could have told they stayed. Come on now. If you go and tell somebody, if you're working at the polling place and you tell everybody, hey, we're packing up for the night. You guys don't have to stay because we're not going to be counting anything. And you see a bunch of the poll workers, the counters, the tabulators, also getting up and leaving. Well, okay, seems like you're closing down for the night. But if you keep two or three of them back, and then a couple people to pull out these totes, and then you start counting again, people will have left because they saw a bunch of people leaving. So no, no, no. This needs to be investigated. And even the Georgia governor, who has been kind of iffy on whether or not he wanted to look into these claims, has now said, yeah, no, we need to look into this because this is video evidence. This is sketchy. We need to look into it. So even the Georgia governor is saying, hey, let's take a look at this. Um, Claims of delays due to pipe bursts. According to statements by counting officials on the night of November 3rd, a pipe burst caused a 2-hour delay to vote counting in a room where absentee ballots were tabulated at the State Farm Arena, right? Um, but according to a local attorney who filed a records request about the pipe burst, only received a brief text message exchange about the incident, describing it as highly exaggerated, a slow leak that caused about an hour and a half delay, and they contained it quickly and it didn't spread, right? As it turns out, there was never a burst pipe or water main, which some news outlets reported. There we go again, right? The water inside State Farm Arena was caused by a leaking toilet, which, as you know, can be remedied by simply hand turning off the water supply line to the toilet. In any event, the leak was minimal and was resolved in the early morning hours. Well, prior to the time the election staff halted the counting. So I had to, so they were claiming that the halt in counting to cover their tracks. They were claiming that the halt in the counting was because of this leak. But according to the information that a lawyer obtained, the leak was taken care. First of all, it wasn't even a big leak, so it didn't do very much to halting anything, and it happened very well prior to the time the election staff halted the counting. So that had nothing to do with why they stopped counting. but they're trying to make it seem like that's why they stopped counting. No, 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 no. No. You stopped counting because you wanted to send people home and then start counting ballots in secret, right? Whether or not that the actual ballots were illegal or not, what they did was highly irregular and very suspicious, okay? Because we can't say for certain that, you know, that they were illegal votes until we do a recount with signature verification and what they're doing now, I believe. Um, so we can't know for sure yet. But I think that a a recount with verification is very much called for. Um, Pick further alleged that the same woman with the blonde hair and braids, whom she said may have been the manager, had placed the table there earlier. It's not clear where those ballots came from, and it's not clear when the containers were placed under the table. Uh, Witnesses have sworn in affidavits that the counting continued until the early morning hours. So everybody has been saying that these affidavits, these sworn affidavits, it's just witness testimony, but witnesses are unreliable, and no, no, no. Now we have video evidence that corroborates, at least in Georgia's case, the Georgia witnesses' stories. So now there's even more credibility to what they're saying, and it needs to be looked into. Okay, this is this is insane. Uh, why are Pick says, quote, why are they counting them when the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Yeah, that's a good question. Why are they counting? Unless, okay, if you're not doing anything weird and uh there's no reason to hide anything, then why are you sending people home? Why are you sending people home so they can't watch? Okay? Uh she argued that the number of ballots there is beyond the margin of victory. Um Three scanners, which can carry out several thousand ballot processes per hour, are believed to have been working for several hours until the early morning hours. So thousands, thousands of these ballots could have been processed in the hours when nobody was there to watch. Nobody was there to make sure that these ballots were legit, which could account for the huge jump uh, that Biden saw. Just saying. Uh, I'm sorry, but this absolutely needs to be looked into. Okay? It's just, no. Certain Dominion devices can process up to almost 5,000 ballots per hour, while some can process 3,600 per hour, and others can produce between 360 to 455 ballots per hour. Uh, Dominion machines are used. So we're looking at possibly between 500 to 5,000 ballots that could have been processed in these hours. Okay, and if we just take into account only the hours in between 11 and 1 o'clock in the morning, that's 2 hours, right? If there's what in the video, I think it looked like there were two people doing ballot tabulations. Okay, that would be 20,000 possible ballots that would be between 2,000 and 20,000 possible ballots that could have been counted in just that time alone. And that's only from what I could see in the video, the two people, but it sounded like there were four people in total, which would be 40,000 ballots perhaps in these 2 hours. And that's just in the 2 hours. Apparently they were counting, later on into the morning. They only needed the 2 hours to pull the ballots out from underneath there and mix them in with all the rest. So for that amount of time, for up until like 3 in the morning, you're looking at like over 100,000 possible ballots that were counted, which yeah, that's enough, very much enough to turn the tide. I mean, even 20,000 ballots might be enough to turn the tide. Okay, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but that's insane. Okay, uh, Of course, Trump has something to say about this. He said on Twitter after the video's release, quote, "Wow, blockbuster testimony taking place right now in Georgia. Ballot stuffing by Dems when Republicans were forced to leave the large counting room. Plenty more coming, but this alone leads to an easy win of the state." Okay, Trump, back up. Hold on. Is it highly suspicious? Yes. Do we know anything for 100% sure? No. Okay. This isn't proof. This is just evidence. Okay. We need it to be investigated and it to be proven that yes, that these were fraudulent ballots, but we don't have that proof for sure. This is just highly suspicious evidence. Okay. So don't jump the gun here. Get an investigation, look into it, and then when if it turns out that it is proof, then say something. Okay. But I digress. Uh, In the hearing, it was noted that officials cleared out State Farm Arena on election night, allegedly due to a pipe break. We already went over that. No, that's not why they cleared people out, because it was already shown from the information gathered by that lawyer that the pipe break uh, happened earlier and was fixed before they told people to go home. So that had nothing to do with it. Okay. Pick and other members of Trump's team say it's not clear whether this was the reason why poll workers and members of the press left after around 10 p.m. I'm sorry, but we already were told, hey, this was fixed, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. So there wasn't really a reason for them to go home. And in the video, it looks like they were told to go home, uh, and then they started counting ballots. So I'm gonna go ahead and side with what the video shows, which seems to be them telling people to go home, and not for this reason. Uh, so let's see. Uh, it, it's insane, all of this, because this isn't the only state that we've seen this um, happening. I mean, it's the only one that we've got video evidence of, but we have sworn affidavits from multiple other states that are saying that, people were kicked out of the voting places. They were told, no, you can't watch. It's insane. Um, yeah, so Schaefer said Fulton County officials, quote, falsely announced that the counting of ballots would stop at 10:30 p.m. Yeah, because they kept counting between 11 and 1. Uh, this video proves our allegation that they continued counting ballots in secret until 1 a.m., Schaefer wrote in a tweet on December 3rd. About a month before that, he noted that, quote, no one disputes that Fulton County elected officials unlawfully resumed the counting of ballots after our observers left the center. So nobody has disputed the claims that they kept counting. It's just now, now that there's actual video evidence that could possibly prove that there was foul play, now they're going, "Oh, no. We this is normal. This is totally normal. This is what we do. This is what you would expect. This is the work you would expect. It's okay. It's okay." Yeah, no. I don't believe you. I don't believe you because that's weird. Sending people home and then continuing the count from from what looks like suitcases that we have no idea where they came from. And then there was a video, I believe, that was showed a month ago of in I believe Detroit. I believe it was some voting center in Michigan. I believe a van unloading a bunch of ballots. And earlier in the day, people just walking into the center with suitcases. So I'm sure this isn't the only place this happened, but this is the only place that we have film of it happening so far. So we'll wait and see. But whew, man. A spokesperson for Fulton County, in an email to the Epic Times, did not dispute the authenticity of the video on Thursday. Quote, to date, we are aware of no credible reports of voter fraud or wrongdoing in Fulton County. Seriously? Any credible report of such activity will be investigated and addressed as provided by Georgia law. No, we are to date, we are aware of no credible reports of voter fraud or wrongdoing. There's a video and testimony that is now backed up by said video. And you want to tell me that there's nothing credible about literal video surveillance? Okay, if that's not credible evidence, then I, I don't know what is. And the reports from the people who signed the affidavits and gave their sworn testimony already, if you were talking about them saying that they're not credible, well, they're now backed up by video evidence. So how are they not credible now? Okay, credible just means, hey, this seems like it could possibly be true. Let's investigate. It's not that it's proven to be fact. It's just it is possible and it looks to be possible that it may have happened. I'm sorry, but to say that there's no credible reports is just asinine. Man, I tell you what, they are trying so incredibly hard to keep people from looking into this stuff. It's insane. And yeah, I picked the Epic Times for this story because it was a little bit longer than some of the other stories I saw. But if you go and you look and you watch the video, and then you go and you look at mainstream media like, ABC, CNN, all that stuff, they're going to sit here and say, oh, this video doesn't prove anything. But if you watch the whole entire video in its entirety, you're going to have some questions. Just like I have some questions. Just like Trump's legal defense has questions. And just like the governor of Georgia has questions and is saying that this needs to be investigated. You know, unfortunately, I don't know if anything will come of this because who knows? But I hope it gets investigated. And if you're watching this video and you're thinking, oh well, it wouldn't change the outcome. Well, it's not about changing the outcome. It's about preserving our elections. And if you can't look at what's going on now and say, hey, doesn't matter what side of the aisle I'm on, this needs to be looked at, then I don't know what to tell you, but you're wrong. Because pres preserving the election process is the most important thing that we need to do right now. Whether or not Trump wins or not, okay? But this is sketchy as all hell, okay? All right, guys. Anyway, man, if you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Uh, Make sure to hit that notification bell and just keep keep checking back because I'm gonna be posting some videos probably just about every day, um, and because this is happening every day. This is happening every day. We're getting new news every day. So just stay tuned, guys. All right, have a good one.